So this girl, her name is Michelle. She's 17 years old, and that's her boyfriend, Conrad. He's 18. And Conrad just unalived himself because of her. But that's not even the worst part. So Conrad was a high school athlete, good-looking kid, and he was always at the top of his class. But he was being verbally and physically abused by his father and his grandfather, and that led him to depression and some suicidal thoughts. He even made YouTube videos talking about his mental health decline, especially after his parents got divorced. And one day, Conrad decided to end it all. So he drove his pickup truck to an empty parking lot all by himself. That's an important detail, and decided to finish the job using carbon monoxide, which is a toxic gas. And unfortunately, he succeeded. Now, the news of his passing devastated everybody, including Michelle, or at least that's what she claimed. Michelle started holding fundraisers for suicide prevention. She got closer to Conrad's family, and it seemed like she was using the death of her boyfriend to try and prevent other teens from going down the same route. Good for her, right? Well, one day Michelle gets a visit from two police officers, and they start asking her about Conrad's death. Then they confiscate her phone. She tries to object, but they make it clear that they have a warrant and there's nothing she can do about it. And when the police read the messages that were on Michelle's phone, they were shocked to their core. Michelle had worked tirelessly for months on end to convince Conrad to take his own life. Every day she was urging him, prodding him, even taunting him for not having the guts to do it. These are some of her messages. You can't think about it. You just have to do it. You said you were gonna do it. I just don't understand why aren't you? I thought you really wanted to die, but apparently not. I feel played and just stupid. You're gonna have to prove me wrong. She even kept suggesting ways for him to do it effectively, describing some as painless, easing his concerns about how his family was going to take it. She was even with him on the phone while he was locked inside the truck. You're ready and prepared. All you have to do is turn the generator on and you'll be happy and free. No more pushing it off. No more waiting. She also admitted that she knew that if the police knew this, she would go to jail. So she knew what she was doing. That's why the last thing she asked him to do was to delete her messages, a request that he never got to read. So they arrest Michelle and she goes to trial. Now the question was, should Michelle be convicted of manslaughter? I mean, she wasn't even in the same city where the death took place. Also, this is a one-of-a-kind crime. Telling somebody else to unalive themselves isn't really manslaughter, it was just text messages. How could that be a crime? She was also under 18 at the time, but her main line of defense was that he was going to do it anyway. She was just there for him in his last moments. But whether with her or without her, he would have died either way, because he was suicidal, even before he met her, which was true. And for a moment there, it seemed like Michelle was going to walk free from this. But then, new evidence came to light. It was through the text messages that the judge knew that Conrad tried to leave that parking lot and continue to live. But Michelle stopped him. She told him that he couldn't continue living like that and he had to get this thing over with. So he obeyed her and stayed. She even confessed that to her best friend. Here's part of her confession. I was on the phone with him and he got out of the car because it was working and he got scared and I even told him to get back in. At this point, it became clear to the judge that if it wasn't for Michelle, Conrad Roy would have been alive today. She got sentenced to 15 months in prison but was paroled after 11, plus 15 months probation. Yeah, it wasn't the harshest sentence, but at least now everybody knows her name and face, so good luck to her finding another relationship for the rest of her life. And by the way, this true case was turned into a Hulu show that's available right now. It's a wild story.